odds are you're not going to be a good father, you're not going to be a good husband. And what are we looking for? A husband. Like, we're not looking for a little boy toy, we're not looking for just a boyfriend. Like, we want it to progress to long-term life partner. We don't want something regular. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I realized I was sitting way too close to the camera, so I moved back a little bit. I feel like this looks way better, but let's get into the video. So I really just wanted to come on today and talk about how, as women, we're not taught certain things about dating as we're growing up, and it can really hurt us. We end up making decisions that hurt us. We end up making decisions that really just break down who we are. And at the end of the day, it all comes back to self-worth, knowing who you are as a woman, what you bring to the table. And the last two things is truly knowing what you want out of a relationship from whoever you're going to be with, and also knowing what you're not willing to stand for. And I think we all can think of things that we want in a relationship, but I really want you to sit down and think of those things that you do not want, the non-negotiables. When you sit down and you know that you don't want like these 4 or 5 things in someone, and you see them come up, and you know to leave at that moment because that's not something you're going to stand for, it removes so much hurt from the process and the path. And once I did this, it changes your life, because you meet people, you see them do what you don't like, and you're able to just move past it because that person is not at the level that you need them to be at in order to carry something sustainable, something loving, something deep, and something actually worth fighting for, you know? So I have 4 non-negotiables, and I'm sure I have many more, but these are like the 4 main ones that I wrote down literally back in like 2019, and it still stands true. So the first one is a man who doesn't prepare for a date and just does whatever, you know. It might be like, all right, I'm gonna come pick you up and we'll see where it goes from there. That is something that I will say no to immediately, because who knows what the next step could be. Who knows if they might violate your boundaries or attempt to, or if they're just like, they're not taking you seriously enough to say, all right, I have a reservation at 8 p.m. at Grand Lux Cafe and be ready by 7:30. I'm gonna come pick you up. Like, for me, it's like, if a man is not ready to be assertive and strong, not over powerful or, you know, over assertive, but if a man is not ready to step into his masculinity and be very, you know, like, this is what I have planned for us, then you're not the man for me, because odds are you're not going to be a good father, you're not going to be a good husband. And what are we looking for? A husband. Like, we're not looking for a little boy toy, we're not looking for just a boyfriend. Like, we want it to progress to full-time, long-term life partner. We don't want something regular. So I mean, that's one thing for me, a man who truly has a plan, you know. And if he's willing to plan out our first date, then, you know, he's willing to plan out our future as well. My second non-negotiable is a man who gets into fights. If you're over like 25, even like over 22, and still getting into fights, like, you're not for me. That's like a big one. To me, that shows that you don't have emotional regulation skills. Your emotional intelligence is probably kind of low. You don't know how to control your anger. Like, that's not someone we should be with. Someone who doesn't know how to control their anger could end up taking their anger out on you one day, whether it's verbal, physical, like whatever. Spiritual warfare is real too. Someone who's angry on the inside is definitely going to transfer that negativity to you as well. So I mean, that's another one for me. Just someone who gets into fights. I'm not gonna do it. Now, as a Gemini, feelings and like communication are super important to me. My feelings run deep and I express them in a very deep way. So when a man does not express understanding of my emotions and undermines my feelings and thoughts, is unable to communicate, it's a no. Like, if a man doesn't have high emotional intelligence enough to understand where I'm coming from and enough communication skills to communicate, to understand that, then it's not someone for me, and that's gonna be a hard pass. The last one I think is the most major, and the last one for me is a man who is inconsistent with me. Inconsistency can come in so many different forms, and that is why this one is the most important one and the one that I think will change your life. Because if a man is inconsistent with you, it's telling you that he's not serious about you, he's not serious about himself, he probably lacks passion in life, he probably can't stick to anything for too long. Like, inconsistency really does link to so many negative things. If a man is inconsistent with his thoughts, that means he's not able to stick to something for too long. If he's inconsistent with his actions, if he's inconsistent with his habits, his lifestyle, like, if a man is in a point of like just complete inconsistency with everything and you're just meeting him, that's a red flag to run away, because he won't be consistent with you. You'll be there with him through his process in becoming this new person. And I mean, just meeting someone, for them to be in this transition process, you're just going to be a propeller for him to get there. So I mean, you should really just be his friend at that point, maybe be supportive, but don't think of getting into a relationship with him just yet. You want to make sure that someone is stable before you get into a relationship with them, because there's really no place for you to get mangled up in that tornado of change. And so just to recap, my 4 non-negotiables that maybe you could build off of are a man who does not plan out the first date and is just willing to do whatever. The second one is a man who gets into fights and has anger issues, no emotional intelligence. The third one is a man who undermines my feelings and thoughts. And the last one is a man who is inconsistent with me. So if any of that resonated with you, you know what to do. Leave a comment, hit that like button, subscribe, so I know that you like this and I can make more. And I'll catch you in the next video.